Imagine you are standing at the base of a cliff, looking up at a summit that promises everything: gold, gold, freedom, or sun, or shapes, disgenerates, a life without the chains of a 9 to 5. You hold a book in your hand, a manual that claims to be the secret map. Millions of people read these words. They feel the rush of possibility. But what if that map was drawn in a different world? What if the path you are so desperately climbing is actually disappearing beneath your feet? We are living in an era where the old rules of wealth are not just failing, they are actively crushing the people who follow them. Today, we are going to look behind the curtain of the rich dad phenomenon. We are going to ask why, despite the promises of liberation, we are more trapped than ever before. In 1997, a book changed everything. It told us to stop saving pennies and start leveraging debt. It sounded genius. Use the bank's money to buy assets. Let the assets pay for themselves, and retire on a beach while the world works for you. It is a beautiful dream, isn't it? But think about a house of cards. One slight breeze, and the whole structure collapses. When you leverage debt, you are not building on stone. You are building on a thin layer of ice. If the interest rates spike, if the market shifts, that good debt turns into a hungry monster that eats your net worth alive. We saw it in 2008, and we are seeing it again. The strategy works until it doesn't, and when it breaks the person who could least afford to lose. Have you ever wondered why we only hear the stories of the winners? We worship the Forbes list, the billionaires, the self-made icons. But these people are not just lucky. They are the statistical anomalies. For every one person who hits the jackpot using high-risk leverage, there are 10,000 others who lost their homes, their savings, and their peace of mind. This is called survivorship bias. It is the silent killer of financial sanity. We look at the survivor and think, if they did it, I can do it too. But we ignore the mountain of corpses, the failed businesses, the bankrupt families who followed the exact same advice. We are being sold a strategy based on the exceptions, while the reality for the average person is getting harder by the day. Let us talk about a hard truth. We confuse income with wealth. You can make a fortune. You can have a high-flying side hustle. You can pull in 6 figures. But if you are one emergency away from insolvency, you are not rich. You are just a high-paid servant to your own lifestyle. True financial independence is not about the size of your paycheck. It is about the stability of your floor. The rich dad model pushes for the hustle, for the aggressive move, but it rarely talks about the foundation. It ignores the fact that the cost of living, the price of a home, the cost of education, has outpaced our wages by a mile. You are running a race where the finish line keeps moving further away, and the ground is tilted against you. So, where does that leave us? Are we doomed to be cogs in a machine until we die? Absolutely not. But we have to stop treating a motivational book like a universal law of economics. We need to pivot from the fantasy of overnight wealth to the discipline of sustainable resilience. Financial independence is not a sprint, it is a game of risk management. It is about building a life that can survive a storm, not just one that looks good when the sun is shining. You need to protect your downside, diversify your reality, and understand that the most valuable asset you own is your own ability to adapt. The game has changed. It is time you changed your strategy to match it. The lie is not that you cannot be wealthy. The lie is that there is a shortcut, a secret code that bypasses the friction of the real world. Real wealth is built through patience, through understanding the structural traps of our economy, and by refusing to bet your life on a roll of the dice. You have the power to define your own independence, but it starts with seeing the world as it is. Not as a glossy cover tells you it should be. Thanks for exploring this with me. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.